So here you see me taking down my Lozo's hair from my last review. Like I said before, this hair is still good. I could probably still wear this hair for like a few more months, but I was just getting tired of it, so I was ready to take it down to put this new brown sugar hair in. So the way that I had this hair installed was a sew-in. I put a dome cap on and I sewed all the tracks onto the dome cap and also at the same time onto the braids that I had in my hair. And the sew-in stopped right here, and then in this little leftover area I glued my last track to my hair. But with the track being glued to my actual hair, it slipped out after a while, so that's why you can see it's missing here. And then I also had quite a bit of leave out at the top of my head, so it was a lot of my own hair that I was messing with, and that was kind of annoying. So I just didn't really like the way that I did it, so I'm going to do it a little bit differently with this new brown sugar hair. So here you see me cutting out my Lozo's hair, and you can see here now that the way I had it was I put my hair into cornrows and then I put on a stocking dome cap on over my cornrows, sewed the dome cap down around the perimeter, and then sewed the hair onto the dome cap, but I was also going all the way through to the braids, so the hair is sewn all the way down to the braids through the dome cap for like extra anchorage, and it worked because the hair stayed on pretty tight for a while. But yeah, I just sewed all the tracks on except when I got to the last track I glued it on. I feel so free. So I washed my hair really good, and now I'm preparing for my new set of braids for this new installment. I only have a very small amount of leave out, a small triangle at the top and some around the edges and a little bit in the back just to make this look more natural. I'm only leaving out a very slim triangle off to the side because this is going to be a side part. So here you see my braid pattern. I just did a really quick set of cornrows. It doesn't really matter because I am going to have a cap over it, so it doesn't have to be perfect, just something. So I worked on the top of my head first using the weave glue. I glued on a U-shaped track at the very top of my head, and then I'm filling it in with an invisible part actually, but the invisible part is going to be around my leave out. Most people do an invisible part and just leave none of their hair out, but I'm still leaving some of my hair out over it. So here's a badly drawn diagram of what exactly I'm doing. The blue line represents the U-shaped track that I put. The red lines represent the little tiny pieces of track that I'm using to create an invisible part, and the purple area represents my leave out. So I'm creating fullness around where my leave out is going to be and also creating less tracks to cover. And I'm doing this whole thing over a dome cap because I don't want any hair glue touching my actual hair or scalp. So the dome cap is just sewn down to my braids. So starting out with my first track down at the bottom of my hair, after I got done with the top section of my hair, I used bobby pins to hold the track in place while I sewed it. And I'm just going to take my curved needle and my weaving thread, and I'm just going to sew that first track down into place. So after sewing the first track, I decided that it was too hard and too time consuming, so I decided I was just going to use the weave glue for the rest of the tracks. So I just continued measuring the next track up and then putting glue on it and then gluing it to the dome cap. I like this because I'm not putting glue in my real hair, so it's not messy, and I really don't plan on reusing this hair in any other kind of way, so it's okay if I glue it. If you plan on reusing this hair in a lot of different types of ways, don't glue it because you won't be able to reuse it. But it's fine for what I'm doing now, and it made this process a lot faster. So I just put glue on the track and then let it get tacky and then glued it onto the dome cap, and it was really fast. So I guess this is pretty much classified as a quick weave now, but whatever, it works for me. So here's the almost finished product. I glued all the main tracks in, going from longest links at the bottom to shortest links up at the top, and then as you can see, now you can see my finished invisible part. So I just basically made an invisible part with a triangle left out in the middle, which is where my triangle leave out area is going to be. So you just see me cutting away that excess stocking cap, and now it leaves space for my leave out. And just make sure you get all the excess stocking cap off, and then you just straighten your leave out over on top of the invisible part. On my last installment with the Lozo's hair, I had a lot more hair left out because I made a much bigger leave out section, and I like this better because it's less of my own hair that I'm messing with and straightening, so it causes less damage to my real hair. It's just enough hair to make it look natural. So here is the finished product of my hair. This is actually like I want to say the third day of me wearing it. I didn't get a chance to like record a finished product view of it on the day that I actually finished it, so this is kind of cheating. I've actually been wearing it for a little while. I'm getting ready to go to a football game right now, so I actually look kind of decent, so I thought I would record this part right now when I have a chance. So as you can see, I have my leave out. This is my real hair. A very small amount of my real hair is left out at the top. Like literally the amount is less than a centimeter wide, and it just covers the whole parted area. But it's a very small amount of my real hair compared to the amount that I have left out in the past. I like this because that means that I'm manipulating less of my real hair with this method, but it still works because I did the invisible part method. There's not like a whole lot of like tracks to hide. There's actually no tracks showing, because the whole point of an invisible part is that you don't need any of your real hair to cover it. Usually people just do an invisible part and leave it at that, but I still wanted it to look as natural as possible, so I still left out a little bit of my real hair, but just a very small amount to where my parting looks natural and my like edges are left out to where that looks natural if I were to pull my hair back. So that's why I did that, but there's like no tracks showing through my hair because there are no tracks to show. So yeah, this is the hair. It's longer than I thought it was gonna be. I don't know, when I had it in the bundles it didn't look that long, but actually on my head it's pretty long. Like it goes down to my waist pretty much, and like it's like all down my back, if you can see that. So it is actually really long and like a lot of hair. I didn't actually even get to use all the hair. This is the hair that I have left over. It's from the 16-inch bundle, so this is quite a bit of hair that I like couldn't fit on my head. And as you saw, I glued all the tracks in. Like I sewed my very first track in on the back because I was like, oh, I'm gonna sew it in, that way I can reuse it and da 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 da, but that became too much work, so I just glued all the tracks on, and which means I was able to get the tracks really close together, but I still couldn't fit this in it. So I do not know how people sew hair on and are able to fit like 7 bundles sometimes, because this is only 4 bundles and I glued it and I still couldn't fit all of the hair on. I guess if I would have doubled up each track then I could have, but I didn't want to double it up. I didn't want it to be bulky or like fat in the scalp area, if that makes sense. I wanted it to lay flat to my head, so that's why I didn't double up or anything. But I'm happy with how it came out. Maybe I'll go back and shove this in somewhere, I don't know. But yeah, only thing is the ombreing is not as light at the bottom as I would like it to be. I'm not sure if you can even see it in this lighting, but it is a little bit lighter at the bottom. It's just I wanted it to be blonde, but it's definitely not blonde. So I might go back and redo that, but I don't know. I don't really want to damage the hair. But yeah, so I just straightened my little tiny bit of leave out, obviously, and then I kind of just took my flat iron and flipped this little section out of my face, and that's it. This is just the natural state of the hair after you like, you know, if you were to get in the shower or spray it down or whatever, after you wet it up, it waves up like this and it just dries like this. All I put on it was argan oil. That's all I put on it. And then I just use a little bit of hairspray on my real hair to keep that from flying everywhere. And that's it. It's a really pretty, very subtle wave, like very loose wave. It's not, you know, real crazy and real fluffy. It's very loose, but it's really pretty and like mermaid, beachy waves, which is like totally trendy right now, I guess. But really easy to manage, doesn't tangle, doesn't shed. I didn't seal my wefts. I think gluing the hair kind of acts as if you're sealing the wefts in a way, so I have not been dealing with a lot of shedding and no tangling. And it took to the bleach really well. It's not, you know, dry and crusty at the bottom. It looks very healthy at the bottom for it to have been bleached. And yeah, I really like it so far. I've only worn it for a couple of days, so I'm going to wear it for a couple weeks and then come back and make a, you know, a real review video about it so you can really see how it holds up. But for my first couple of days and for, you know, just installing it just now, it's holding up pretty good. I really like it. I just like the way it looks. I like the texture of it. I can always straighten it bone straight if I want to, or use a curling iron, put curls in it. I'll probably make tutorial videos for how to do, you know, Kim Kardashian curls, or maybe like with my curling wand do some tight curls or something like that. But for now, I'm just liking it just in its natural state, which is really easy because you don't have to do anything to it. So it's super easy, very fast to do my hair in the morning, which is what I need. A lot of people told me that even though this is a lot of long, you know, wavy hair, they told me that it still looks natural with the way that I installed it and with the texture of the hair. They said, you know, it still looks like it could be my hair, maybe, which is good because I don't want to walk around looking completely weird and fake. But yeah, so this is the hair. I like it so far. Stay tuned for my next videos with a more detailed review. If you have questions, feel free to leave them down below, and don't forget to check out the whole P.O. box thing if you want to send me some mail. Everything that you need will be down below in the description down bar. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye. Subscribe to be updated of new videos, like this video for more like this one, check out my online clothing store, find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram, and thank you for watching.